we're going to take a look at how to post a training on OutdoorEd.com. So in order to access a training posting, you need to first log in and then go to the company directory portal. So I've logged in, and if I click the company's link here and click on Company Profile Control Panel, that takes me to this page. So as I scroll down, I'll see my company profile, and if I click here, that would take me to the details of my profile. I can go ahead and edit that. And then based on my subscription levels, I may have access to posting jobs and trainings. So in this case, I'm going to post a training. I have that subscription level, so I'm going to click Post New Training. See that it's already pulled in my company name, so I'm going to go ahead and post the title of this training. Now, scheduling options are a really important part of the training posting process. This allows you to schedule when this posting is going to go live on OutdoorEd.com. So you can actually go ahead and enter a training that you don't display yet. You might have it activated to display in the future. So based on whatever sort of date we enter here and time, the time is required, but in most cases you probably won't be that concerned about the specific time that it goes on or off. Mostly just the date that it goes on and off. And so I'm going to have it post now, and then this is a training that might be in the future significantly. So this is an August training, and I'm going to go ahead and say I want it to go ahead and go all the way up to the actual day that the training is being offered as an option for people to find out about it. One of the things that we also offer is the ability to include images in your posting. So if you have an image, this is going to be a remote image, so it's going to be an image from your site. So first you need to sort of click and bring up the media browser and point that to the particular image. Now we'll click Submit. And you'll see it's found that image and it's displaying a thumbnail of that image. You also then need to click the Attach button, because all it's done right now is find the image, but in order to actually connect it to your posting, you need to go ahead and click Attach. Then when this posting is saved, that image will display. If there are other images that you wanted to add, you can add a series of images. The other thing you can do is include videos in your training posting. So this can be either a YouTube or a Vimeo video. So again, in this case, we're going to click Browse. Media Browser will pop up, and we're going to enter a link to a specific YouTube video and click Submit. Similarly, you can see that it's found that video, but we still need to click the Attach button to actually connect this to our posting. Here you notice this box, Include File in Display. If you want this video to show on your training display, you need to click that. And if you want, you can add a description. So we could put in first aid course. Now we're going to move into the description part of the training listing. So the first is training type. This is a required field. And this is the type of training, and this is a multi-select box. So that means that you can select multiple things for this particular sort of training. So let's say that this training is going to include both water safety instructor and a wilderness first aid course. We can click both of those. This is important because this is one of the key elements that's used for searching for your training listing. So if somebody's looking for training, they're going to be focused on this training type as part of their search. Region, this is also a required field. This is the region where the training is taking place. Now that might be a different location or different region than where your particular company or organization is located. So again, that's where people are sort of saying, I am looking for a first aid course in the Mid-Atlantic. And so that's what you're going to want to select. Training dates is also a required field. So this is actually not the dates of publication for this posting, but the actual dates of the training itself. So as we said, this is a training that's happening in August, and it starts on August 10th, and it's going to end on August 17th. So we're going to want to include at least the starting date so that people know when this course is going to take place. Now we have the opportunity to go ahead and put in the description. And I'm just going to cut and paste some text in. Once in the text editor, I can go ahead and edit this text. I can make things bold. I can italicize things. I can do a variety of text editing. You'll see this is a live link going, in this case, to a Wikipedia page. So I can do a variety of things in the edit process to sort of present the information that I want to present in terms of my description. Training provider, this is an optional field, but this section is really designed if you are sponsoring a course, but you're not actually the company delivering the course. So for example, a college outdoor program might be sponsoring a woofer course that's provided by an outside provider, and you're posting this under your college's company profile, but you're not actually the person delivering the course. So in this case, I might go ahead and enter a particular company that's providing this. And there might be multiple companies. In this case, if there's the water safety instructor portion that might be done by a different company, different training provider, I could enter that here. So that's really, and you'll see the instructions down here. Fee, this is a place to go ahead and enter what's the fee for this course. And the other possibility for a training is that the training is being delivered by a particular, in this case, first aid provider company. And that's the organization, the first aid provider, that's posting it. But the course location is actually being done someplace else. A sponsor is bringing that course in. So let's say that you have an avalanche awareness course, and you're the company who is the avalanche training course provider, and a school or college is sponsoring that. So in this case, sort of separate from the case that we just reviewed, we would go ahead and check that the training is sponsored. And so we might say that the training is being sponsored, and is being, the sponsor is some university. And there might be multiple sponsors. So for example, sometimes a training is happening at a conference, then there are multiple sponsors. So you can go ahead and list who the sponsors are. If you have organizations that are sponsoring this training, you may want to include address information to connect to that sponsor, because it may be that sponsor that's handling registration, for example. So in that case, you would go ahead and say, okay, who is the sponsor? We'll say that we're the sponsor, and we're going to go ahead and just put our address in here so that people know how to get in touch with the sponsor. Now we want to look at the website. Is there a website for this particular training? And so the title is important, because the title is what's going to actually be displayed. People won't see the URL, because the URL is often not very helpful. It doesn't tell people where they're actually going. So if we want to put in a link, what we want to do is say, this is the training site. And so the title is what gets displayed for the link. And then we just put in the link itself. Now, does this training provide a certification? So if it does, then you would go ahead and check that box. And then, again, a multi-select list here gives you the opportunity to say, well, what training certifications are being offered? And this is just a short sample list that we're seeing right here. So in this case, I could select multiple values in here if there are multiple certifications that are being offered. Again, this is fully searchable, so having a certification and letting people search for certification can be useful. If there's a certification, then one of the things you want to do is tell people, well, how long is this certification good for? So in this case, we're going to say it's good for 3 years. If you were doing multiple certifications in this training, like Wilderness First Responder and Water Safety Instructor, they might have different levels of certification. So again, you could go ahead and add multiple time durations for the certification. If you want to provide information about registration, you might want to include a contact person. You might also want to include an email address for that contact person, and then any instructions to go to how to register. Here, obviously, we're doing something really quick. Now, this link goes to specifically for registration. So if there's a specific web page that people should go to register, then you're going to enter that in here. And again, the title is really important because that is what the user is going to see. So first aid course registration is obviously, that's an appropriate title. It tells people exactly what's going to happen when they click on that link. And we'll just go ahead and put the URL in there. If you want to provide a phone number for people to contact you, you can go ahead and do that. If you wanted to have a fax number, if people were going to fax application forms or other things in, you can include a fax number. And now those are all the fields, and you notice down here revision information. So one of the nice things about our system is that it allows you to come back in and edit this posting in the future and keep track of changes that you've made. So you can actually make changes and then revert to a previous version. Since this is the first version, there really isn't any revision information, so I don't necessarily need to provide, as you can see here in the tooltip, an explanation of the changes that I'm making. So I could leave this blank. It's not really necessary to fill it out. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and just enter first posting just to provide it, but it's really not necessary to do that. So at this point now, we're going to go ahead and just click Save. So you can see our Wilderness First Responder course has been created. You'll see at the top we've got a lot of social links to it so that as people are seeing this, they can go ahead and tweet about it, post it on Facebook, etc. So we'll see who is the actual company. Outdoor Ed LLC is the one who's doing it. And now you see here are the training types that we mentioned. And so again, this is very important because these are all searchable links. And so people may be able to use these categories and training types to find us. Here we see the certification that's being offered. So if somebody's saying, I'm looking for first aid course, but I want a WFR course, bingo. And again, region, here is our description. We see this live link here. Here is the YouTube video. I can go ahead and click this to start to play it. I can see the sponsors, the website to go to for the sponsor and the address of the sponsor, fee, registration information. Again, here you see what the title that we entered for someone to click, and that's going to go to the registration webpage, a live email address, and then the image that we posted. So that gives you a quick perspective on posting a training. If we go back to our company profile control panel, we scroll down past our company profile, you'll see my job postings and you'll see my training listings. And so this lower one is the one that I just added. So this is going to show me all of my published training postings. I can go in and click here to edit it. I can click over here on the title, and that's going to, again, take me to the page to display it. And I can also click here to post a new training. So that's the overall process of posting a training at Outdoor Ed. want to show you one other thing. We're going to go back and take a look at the actual posting. One button that I did not show you earlier is this button right here, Clone This Training. And this is particularly useful in situations where you might be posting multiple of really the same training. You might be posting a whole bunch of first responder courses, for example, or a whole bunch of avalanche trainings. And all of this information, the descriptions, videos, all that stuff is the same. So the only thing that may be different is actually the training dates. And you don't want to have to type that in again and again and again. So one of the things that you can do once you've entered one is simply go to Clone This Training. And what it's going to do is it's going to provide you with the basic skeleton of what you did already. You'll notice that we're going to need to go in here and enter the starting date, and we'll need to potentially update this ending date for the schedule of when you want this to display. Our image is linked in here. We'll have to click attach. Our video is here, and all the other information that we entered before is the same. So this obviously makes it very quick to duplicate trainings that you repeat on a frequent basis. And probably the only thing you'll need to do is go in and change those dates.